Joining us now, Steve Slepcevic. Steve is, he's been around the disaster response, security ops, and crisis response a very long time. Got 35 years of expertise in disaster management, emergency response, risk, and global security. Steve's a transformational leader in operational resilience, known for delivering rapid solutions, and he's here with us today. Steve, thanks for joining us.
Well, thanks for having me.
Well, Steve, we're in the middle of a war. We know that Iran's got proxies. We know that they have cells here. We don't know how many hostile agents have been let in under Joe Biden's open border policy to get power and votes and impact the census. So if you happen to, die from it, it's their opinion. It's just collateral damage for their greater good or something ridiculous like that. But I mean, you don't want to be looking over your shoulder, but we know that hostile actors got in the country illegally. We know there's cells. We just saw what happened in Austin, Texas. What is your advice to people now in the United States that be careful about what may happen?
Well, what most people don't know, and it's almost like old news, right? People are not paying attention any longer. But during the 4 years of the Biden administration, from the very beginning, I had some federal border attack agents that had reached out to me, some border sheriffs, and asked us to assist them in bringing our drone teams or security teams out there and assisting them with the surveillance of what was happening at the border. And Charlie Kirk reached out, who's a close personal friend of mine, and we provided a ton of footage, and also went and did a 6-part docuseries with him called Border Battles that you could watch online. And the amount of people coming across that border every night by the busloads throughout the Middle East, all the stands that absolutely hate us, right? Death to America, that chant death to America. The amount of cartel members that were moving assets across the borders, seeing the child trafficking, the drugged children, the rape trees, the prayer rugs throughout the desert, and all the apprehensions of people that we caught that had no ID because they would ditch all their IDs at the border. And at the time, even the holding cells were so jam-packed that they were really just simply processing them and letting them out the back door and into the interior of the country. I mean, there was one time at the border crossing that we were there for probably about 4 to 5 hours. They didn't even have a border patrol bus that could come by to pick up the load. That people were literally walking across the field, getting in an Uber. And so they're throughout the United States undocumented, right? And untracked. No one knows where they're at. And yes, we have some serious concerns of where they ended up. And I promise you, they did not end up on the system. They're not the ones with the debit cards saying the free hotels for the free housing and free medical. They're here very specifically on a mission. As a matter of fact, Bobby Kennedy, who's a good close friend of mine, when he asked me to take him to the border, he stood there and he saw busload after busload of Chinese nationals coming across, West Africans coming across, and every other kind of race and country pouring like just in lines nonstop. And he was like, he turns to Jonathan Lyons, the supervisor there. We're at Yuma, one of the borders one of many open areas are just wide open. And he's like, is this like this every night? Jonathan looks over at him. He looks over. He goes, well, yeah, every night. They're pouring through these borders for 4 years. So I know as a security operative, right, in crisis and risk management, and having been in over 70 countries, I could take 12 of our guys, highly trained guys, and we could bring a city like Los Angeles to its knees. If I have that information, I promise you they do as well. And that is where the biggest concern is.
What is our level of danger here, Steve?
Well, I can tell you one thing that I'm actually super proud of, and I got blasted on social media for it. I make no apologies. I got zero filters, and I don't hold back. But I had posted a picture of me, Tom Holman, my security partner, Byron Rogers, Special Forces Marine Recon, worked many ops in many countries. And he is doing the right job, aggressively in there. And yes, when you do a sweep and you're picking up a lot of criminal aliens that have records and arrest warrants for them, you're going to pick up sometimes people that get caught up in the net. It just is what it is. But in going into that thing aggressively, what Trump's doing under this administration is trying to get ahead of that, right? We know what the threat level is. We have the intel. But if you don't move fast and swift and start cleaning these areas out, we're going to pay a big price. You cannot allow a Trojan horse into our cities and then expect nothing to happen. And I promise you, seeing what happened in southern Syria, in Sweden, where they slaughtered and killed over 2,000 Druze and Christians, level 34, 32, 33 villages, I don't know exactly the number, burned 5 Christian churches. When you see firsthand these atrocities, and we had pushed into with our team with cover from the State Department, with IDF and Mossad, and this is not that long ago, into a place called Hadar, where they had an outpost. But having seen all the stuff that was going on, it just takes one time for them to rip through our cities. And I promise you, the shock and awe, the left, they're running out of stuff to talk about, right? They don't know which flag to hold anymore. They're confused, right? And the biggest confusion right now is Iranians and Americans, right? The left protesting against Iranians are like, you have no idea what we lived under.
Just
You know,
insane. How vulnerable our cell systems, our cell phone systems, our grids? How vulnerable is that?
oh, it's extremely vulnerable. In the commission report that they issued, it showed that if our infrastructure was hit, and I know just doing hurricanes since 1989 disaster zones, it hits in a one small pocket, and it takes all the states coming together from the Midwest to the West Coast to pull into areas of Florida, North Carolina, to get the grid back up and using all the materials and equipment we have. That takes sometimes up to 3 months. If our infrastructure, which is already extremely vulnerable, were to get hit, it shows that within 1 year, 90% of Americans are dead. Within 3 months, 90 days, over 65% of Americans are dead, right? And what it is we're just so vulnerable. And when you see the fact that we're so soft, right? We go to our Starbucks, triple filtered lattes, right? If the foam's not right, we're losing our shit in our skinny jeans, right? The mentality of America has become so weak and so soft and so comfortable that we don't know what that threat looks like. And so, yes, communication controls chaos. The first thing that goes down in every wide area disaster is the cell service, right? So if you don't know what's going on, like if you look at Mexico, right? There was over 250 roadblocks. So when we had to extract people out of Mexico, within hours of it happening, we happen to have an aviation crew down there that we did on our search and rescue during Hurricane Otis, right? When they hit the police station, the gas station, the convenience stores, this is over 200 stores hit, over a dozen banks. The shock and awe and burning of the gas stations, the whole city came to a standstill, and there's absolute panic. So if you look at these playbooks, it's so possible that it can happen in the United States, and people do need to be prepared for this type of event.
Well, the best thing I think people can do is do what I did, which is get a sat phone. I mean, because you never
Absolutely.
know what's going to happen, Steve. And we're in a very vulnerable state here. And when it's very chilling when you sit there and tell us in one border crossing, this is just human. That's one of many that at night, bus after bus after bus just rolled through. No checkpoint, nothing, all filled up with Chinese nationals, with jihadists. We have no idea who they are, just pouring over the border. I mean, what country allows this? How insane was that?
Yeah, and you can see all that footage on Midnight at the Border. It's a documentary that Bobby Kennedy put out there with us, and a 6-part docuseries called Border Battle with Charlie Kirk. But your point with the sat phones, right? The sat phones, I'm a fan of the Iridium sat phone. It just has a lot more satellites. The Inmarsat, those are good too, but what I find is they're limited for when a lot of people are trying to get onto the bandwidth, especially in a crisis. But trying to pick up a sat phone when there's a crisis, it's too late. You can't get it because they max out. There's only so many out there, and every time a war breaks out, I find that they get backlogged sometimes 30, 60, even 90 days, and that's not the
Right.
place we want to be. So every one of us carries a sat phone. I carry one in my pack. My wife and kids all carry a sat phone, and on top of that, I even have the ballistic shields in our backpack. Right, So when we go travel, my kids are grabbing their backpacks. Making sure that they have a ballistics backpack. It's light. They don't know the difference, but I know that if they're running in a situation, I want to give them every layer of protection that I can as a father, because I'm trained to that I may not be there at all times, but every little layer that I can put on them, many things I don't share, but it's to manage that risk, to reduce it, know where they're at, know where the medical centers are, and know if they were in a situation, how am I going to extract them? Where am I going to get them off the X and into safety? So then I can go back to focusing on being on the front line, on the razor's edge.
I mean, you absolutely nailed it. Let me just pull mine out here. This is my backpack I have, which is a one of the dark bags, right? I get sat123.com. So I've got the shield in it, got the phone charger in it, got my sat phone in it, and it's a beautiful backpack. I mean, you
Yeah.
walk down the street, it's like stylish. I mean, I got a suit on, right? I mean, it's fine. It fits a lot of stuff in it, but I know that it's got a shield, got all my kids one as well. But you got to get sat phone because it's just peace of mind because you don't know what's going to happen. And the beautiful thing about sat, you can just go to sat123.com, sat123.com. You keep it charged, you flip it up, you point it to the sky, you're good to go.
Well,
Perfect.
it's nice that it's nice to see you're promoting them, because Tina Blanco, just knowing who she is, and she's donated over 50,000 of just Starlinks to Jamaica. So if anybody goes to YouTube and types in strategic response partners and they put in Hurricane Melissa Jamaica, all the Starlinks in order to get Jamaica up and running was done by the satellite phone store by Tina Blanco. They didn't have it. I set up the Starlink for their EOC in Mo Bay, right? I put the Starlink minis in Richard Vernon's car. He's the mayor of Mo Bay, right? Then his commander, then put it in Samuel, who's the police chief there, and put it the fire department. Both these are on their buildings, the Gen 3s and the minis, so the fire department could communicate. These guys had no communication. We ripped down to Black River because I worked with Samaritans First, set up their medical field hospital, worked with World Central Kitchen and getting them set up at the convention center. So if those communications weren't in place, and for her gifting the donation, right? That country, here's a private individual who stepped up to the call in with our conduit. Again, at the end of the day, it's all God, right? God serves through so many of us, and we're simply his tools, his vessels to be of service. So again, I love the fact that you're promoting their company versus somebody else, because I just know how much good she does in the world. That's unspoken of. So thank you for that, John.
Steve, she's Tina Blanca's an extraordinary woman. I mean, people are in distress in Jamaica, and she donates, 50,000 Starlinks, sends you down there in order to get people up and running, so they have some semblance of communication. She did that out of her own pocket. She's a great lady. But what she does with the sat phones is what I love, because when I first engaged with her, I'm like, look, my audience does not have $1,500 to go buy a sat phone. Like it's not going to happen. I mean, it's a nice thing to have. No way, right? People are trying to pay their rent. So she said, all right, here's what we're going to do. I'll get them the sat phone for free. Sat phone is free. All you got to do is sign up for a year. It's about $89 a month. You get 90 minutes free a month for that $89. It rolls over. So if you don't use it for 3 months, now you got 270 minutes. But the thing is, if something goes down, you've got it. And it's not sat to sat. I mean, and I've done this on my bus tour constantly. You just pop that thing up, call my wife on her cell, call my son on his cell, call my daughter on her cell. So it's not, or they can call me from, if I don't have any coverage, they can call me from their cell to my sat. It's just a great device to have, and it's peace of mind. And the thing is, with all these foreign nationals here, jihadists here, we have no idea, Steve, what is going to happen. Better to be prepared. All you got to do is go to sat123.com. The deals are there. And while you're at it, get the sat phone for free. You can get their dark bags as well. Their shield bags like I have. Got it for all the kids. And the thing is, Steve, they're light and they're stylish. I don't know how you get the shield in there, but they're just, and they're a great thing to have. It's like $199. It's the same you're going to pay for anything in any decent backpack.
Yeah, and again, you know, every quarter I pull it out, I test a call on it with the family, I do a quick call, and I make sure that the battery's topped on it. It lasts for a year without charging it, but I just do it as an automatic kind of a memory. I program all the phone numbers in it, and they have their evacuation route. They know where to go. But we've done it to make it fun, so it's not crazy. I also have a plan that I do for my own plan and stuff that I've seen that works really well. So then if anybody ever wants, like, just it's not like I created it, but it's all got stuff on it that works. There's no promo codes. It's just here you can find the stuff anywhere, you know, products are sold like Amazon, stuff like that, organic foods. So I put that whole list together of what I use, having done this for 35 plus years,
Right.
over 14,000 different projects. I know what tools work, and sometimes less is more.
Right.
And you pick up stuff what you do. Some people over prep, and I'm like, man, you're just you're overkilling it. You're living in a space of fear and scarcity, because there comes a certain point where you have just a very efficient way of moving and storing. The rest, you have to really do the spiritual work, because God leads in those crisis moments.
I tell you what, Steve, I agree with you 100%. God first, and God's got a plan here, but things go awry, right? And you just want to be prepared. I mean, we're in a war now. We don't know how long this is going to last, and we don't know who is here. So you got to protect yourself. You want to get the backpack. You want to be sure you have the shield. You want to get there for your family, and you need at least one sat phone. You got one sat phone. I've got, you know, several of them, but you need just one, and you're good to go. All you got to do, folks, is go to sat123.com. Everything is there. Sat123.com. There's no promo code, none of that. Just go to sat123.com. Get the deal there. Tina Blanco, great lady, and Steve, you're going to be busy the next couple of months.
Yeah. I mean, it's always good to always pre-plan. So if it's security stuff, we represent some of the very well-known VIPs throughout the country. They can find us at sabreteam.com, SABRE team.com. If it's disaster-related, disaster management, search and rescue, medical, all that type of stuff, that's under Strategic Response Partners. You can see some of our stuff on YouTube, or it's srp24.com. And then, of course, one of the biggest things that I work very closely with Bobby on is autism, right? So we run our own autism conference. And any of your audience that may be impacted by autism, there's a stem cell trial that we're doing. And there's a couple other really big things happening. They can go to healingautism.org. And a lot of information there, a lot of resources for families impacted by autism. So there's some really good things happening right now at HHS.
Look, you want to definitely stay in touch with us, because you're going to be a very, very busy guy. I love what you're doing. Thank you for your time, Steve.
John, thank you. And you guys can always count on us. Have a blessed day.
You guys are the best. Go to sat123.com. You can get everything there. And Joe Rubin next. Keep it right here.